What up, Razzballers? It is that time. Fantasy football championships are upon us. We are going to help you bring those home. We're going to get through the massive performances by some and another couple of duds by our studs. How are we going to overcome those? We'll find out right now with the full crew on the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. For now, we got a 5-panel, so we're going to start with these. But we'll see if we can get up to the 6 bar coming up hot. I'm your host, Sky Guasco. Good morning and happy belated holidays, or if you're still involved with your holiday and what you celebrate with your family, we hope you're going super well. Easy travels for everybody. Safe and dinner conversations, things like that. We hope it's going well for everybody, turning the page to 2025. Some of us are sitting pretty with a 162-point lead in some leagues. Others need a few Hail Marys. Like we're talking 3 or 4 Hail Marys, and we're going to make sure those happen as well here on the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. We got my man Matty Styles up in the top as well. That's Styles08 hanging out in Lambeau Field. Davey Cruz, Cruiser128, Derek Favret, Derek_Favret, and Jefferson __Deuce1 for my man Jeff at the bottom. Boss will be ringing in here in a little bit. He's clearing up some paperwork on the back end. A couple announcements and house cleaning before we get into the show today. Per usual, make sure you jump in and drop all of your comments, start sit questions, and any questions for the offseason as well if you'd like to kind of just bolster the comment section today. Of course, we have a handful of games behind us already, so we can jump ahead a little bit if you'd like to for the offseason. A couple things. First of all, if you're playing your championship next week, folks, unfortunately, we are going to take our bye week. Some of us have had sporadic bye weeks over the season, but we're going to take a collective bye. We feel like we've earned that heading into the NFL playoffs. So we're going to take a bye week next week. We're not going to be with you for the Week 18 championships. However, you have our 5 handles, plus Razzball NFL and Bobby Lamarco as well if you'd like. You can reach out to any one of us individually on X and through our articles, and you can ask us any question you might have for your Week 18 needs, and we're more than happy to help you individually, but we will not be here for the Start Sit show next Sunday, just to give everybody a heads up there. Secondly, the boss will be here in a little bit with a couple of updates for 2025. We will be here for the off season, so make sure you stick around. Massive dynasty content. Of course, we're covering the combine. Of course, we're covering the NFL draft. We're heading into free agency. We're heading into 2025, resetting the roster. So we're still working out what that's going to look like, what our frequency looks like, who's doing what shows and when. So we'll get you a schedule when we're able to do that. But what we can tell you is we will be here with you all off season. So those of you that turn the page to baseball, we all do it too when Bob's not looking. However, keep it tuned to the football show here as well. We'll be with you. We'll get a couple more updates for you as the show goes on this morning for that. Okay, gentlemen, we do have a couple questions coming in here. We were talking a little bit pre-game. Some of us are sitting pretty, looking nice. Some of us need a little bit of help. Without going too deep into our leagues yet, Matt, I'll start with you here. Have you seen more of the Grinch or more of Santa so far in the first handful of weeks in championship week? More Grinch, more Santa in your fantasy leagues so far in the handful of games that have already happened from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday football. Good morning from Lambeau Field. How are you feeling? A little more Grinch, a little more Santa. How we doing, buddy?
Good morning. I've been sick for the better part of a week. Trying to get as much info as I can on football while trying to power through with meds and whatnot. So I sound ridiculous. I'm not sleeping well. And last night's James Conner Grinch performance of 2 did not help, especially while facing Joe Burrow and Trey McBride. So I will leave it at that. There's a chance, right? Jim Carrey said, so you're saying there's a chance. I will take that and watch football religiously like I do every Sunday until the fat lady starts to sing. And I will tell you this, she is currently gargling her salt water. She is ready to start singing probably somewhere in the first quarter. Let's just say that the Buccaneers need to have the Buccaneers game of their life, and it needs to be all about Baker and Bucky for me.
Nice. I love that. A little Sean King, Mike Allstott combo is what you're looking for from yesteryear. I like to hear that. Davey Cruz, good morning, buddy. More Grinch, more Santa.
Oh, my Grinch came out a few weeks early this year. Apparently, I'm paying the price for my championship last year in a home league where we had a mediocre at best team that peaked at just the right time to win. So this year, I've had a very, very good regular season in most of my leagues, and since week 14, it's just kind of started coming apart. Oof. I ended up getting suckered into buying a Yugo this year. So there's still some championships on the line. So there's still hope out there for a couple of teams. But
I love it.
Playoffs have been a little bit disappointing.
Sounds like a case of the 1998 Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Should have just absolutely smashed through the playoffs.
Yeah. Except Gary Anderson's the quarterback.
I was going to say, ran into the buzzsaw of Chris Chandler at the wrong time, and unfortunately got upset. That was one of my favorite football games as a kid to watch, man. Those Viking teams were pretty incredible. Yeah. Derek, good morning, my man. How's Santa or the Grinch treating you?
Yeah, I kind of follow in Dave's footsteps. Had a really good season for most of the teams that I was part of, including the one Matt mentioned before, where we share that misery right now. But overall, had a really good season. But boy, the wheels just kind of started falling off right around the time that I tried to pick up Saquon Barkley in a guillotine league and wasn't able to. And things just started falling off after that. But on the bright side, I am first in a NFFC best ball that ends today. And I had Joe Burrow with T. Higgins and Mims. I had Mims was like a late round pick for me, so he came through. So I'm looking real good at that. So that there is a little bit in my stocking, but for the most part, it's going to be a what could have been season for me. It's been really good, especially just feeding off of smart guys like you and our tools at Razzball have really helped a lot. But just circumstances, as they always do in fantasy, tend to bite you sometimes, and I've got bite marks all over.
That's why we're here, man. If we could predict the future, actually, we wouldn't even have these shows. We would have no reason to actually hang out in the morning. We would just set the proper roster and dominate, which we do anyway, but we still got to work through the situations there. So best of luck. Do not give up. We have a comment in here we'll get to in a second, but a lot of people are down 100 plus already, and that's a pretty big bear to face, but it's not impossible with all those games behind us. So Jeff, good morning. How about you, buddy? Grinch or Santa?
Like 50-50. A little bit of both, some Cole and some Grinch and some presents. What really got me worse is my kicker, Fairburn for the Texans, 0. Been the best kicker all season. Championship week, he gets 0. And I'm like, that's gonna probably do it for me in my home league, unfortunately. But overall, it's been a good year. Almost went back to back, but hoping to get the third place, get some money back.
Nice, I love that. Keep the spirits up. I'm similar to, I think, Derek. My regular season teams were quite sweet. A dynasty team that's in a rebuild was a disaster, but I expected that. The other 4 had done well. I'm in the championship in one league. I lost 3 semifinals last week by a total of 12 points over all of them. Just dropped a couple of fumbles, missed a kick here and there, and all of a sudden, unfortunately, you come up short, which is what it is. But shooting for 1 in that league, though. In the guillotine league, I'm down 162. My opponent, it's guillotine league, so the rosters are ridiculous. But he still has Jahmyr Gibbs and George Kittle, but the whole rest of his roster already played. And everybody, aside from Jackson Smith and Jigba, has gone 15, 20, 40 points so far. So I've got quite the mountain to climb, but we're going to climb it and bring it home. All right, Joe, we got a couple of comments waiting for us. We appreciate you. Again, this is the Razzball Fantasy Football Start Sit show here on a beautiful Sunday morning, getting it kicked off for championship week. We will not be here for next week, so make sure you get our questions in. If you play in week 18, we advise you not to do it next year. I know it's probably out of most of your hands with work leagues or home leagues or whatever, but try not to do that if possible due to stud players sitting and things like that. But if you do have them, you can reach out to us individually on X or drop those questions in this week, but please put in parentheses, bold something, week 18 question, so we can look ahead a little bit for you and answer it differently than we would this week, please. So if you do have those questions, ask ahead of time if you'd like, and we'll get to those. Otherwise, you can reach out to us on X. Bob will be with us in a handful of minutes, handling some stuff on the back end, and we will get through it here. Sky, Matt, Dave, Derek, and Jeff with you. You can find everything Razzball all season long at Razzball NFL on X. You can find all of our exclusive content, those beautiful tools Derek was talking about, available for you at football.razzball.com. The boys and I will continue to write articles for you and continue to host podcasts for you during the off season, so don't go anywhere. That's available at football.razzball.com. And you can find us right here on the YouTube channel. Hit that bell and subscribe. And you can also find us on the podcast for all of your listening pleasure on the go at the Razzball Fantasy Football shows in the audio version. All right, gentlemen, we ready to roll? Everybody got the 5 bars warmed up? Got the grill ready to go? Love it. Okay. Derek, let's set the bar at 9 minutes. I got 8:16 West Coast time, 9 minutes before we crack a smile on Styles. Over, under?
Under.
Okay, so less than 9 minutes. Crack a smile on Styles. Obviously, he's going to try to hold that back because he doesn't want to lose the bet himself. I get it, but we'll see what happens with the power of vibe. Let's get it rolling, gentlemen. We are starting first. Brian Davis is up first. Yes, Derek. Oh, I thought you had something.
No. Just on the Matt thing here, I'm not going to waste time because I only got 8.5 minutes left to win this thing. But I expect the 4 of us to use our talents to crack that smile, and I'll share the winnings with you all.
Okay, yes, I love that. That's what I like to see. Let's get into it first. Maddie, you kick us off, brother. Let's kick the vibes here. Brian Davis, good morning. Pick one in full PPR. Gentlemen, we got a heater right off the bat. This is a championship fantasy football question right off the bat. Let's make it happen. Full PPR. Tyreek Hill, who wants to go into coaching, wants to retire, has not been Tyreek Hill, but still playing technically today for the Dolphins, or Ducky Irving. Full PPR, Tyreek Hill, Bucky Irving, Matt Styles, you are on the clock.
With Tua being moved to doubtful yesterday and Tyreek currently questionable, it's Bucky Irving 10 times out of 10 for me.
Davey.
Yeah, even if the matchup wasn't such a smash matchup for Bucky, Matt's right. Tua being all but ruled out today, I have no hope for that offense. That game could be 6-3, like Thursday night's game. I'll take Irving all day in that scenario.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle is not likely to suit up either. So any coverage that can be put onto Tua to kind of lock him down, anything that Cleveland has left to be able to do that, I guess is probably the better way to phrase that, is going to be there. So yeah, really staying off Tyreek completely, and it's going to be all day Bucky.
I agree. Give me the quack attack up top for you.
Oh, Jeff, with a quack attack
right
off the bat, my man.
Oh yeah, respect him. Bucky went for 180 all-purpose yards against Carolina last time they played, so that's an easy one for me.
And that was for the RB1 overall in PPR that week, back in week 13. That was in Carolina. This one's in Tampa. For Matt Styles, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going nuts, putting up a 50 burger on their Carolina rivals this week and making it happen. Gentlemen, can we just, smiles or not, can we just get a 5-bar right off the bat, please? That's what we like to see. Great work. And just to make sure here, I want to see if we can give me 1 second on volume and everything. How's that for everybody? It's nice. It's nice for me. If it's nice for you, it's nice for me. Let's get it going. All right. Brian Davis, there you go, buddy. Thanks for kicking it off, man. We're going to go Bucky Irving over Tyreek Hill. JCW 10-15. Thanks, Razzball, for everything this year. I'm in the championship, but I'm toast. You're not toast. And even if you are, let's add a nice smather so you can enjoy it. Down 117 in a full PPR league with bonuses. Had Kyler, Kyron, Puka, and Higgins. Woof. We got a follow up here. Also have Mike Evans. I feel Baker wants him to get that 1,000, and the weather there is iffy. AJ Brown or Evans? Styles, will start with you.
The weather here in the greater Tampa area is not iffy. It is a little bit overcast. I don't see any rain in the forecast. I will tell you this. Baker Mayfield has 5 incentives at, I believe, $500,000, $250,000 to $500,000 each. I believe they're $500,000. All of them have to do with being in the top 5-ish in completion percentage, touchdowns, et cetera, et cetera. Mike Evans has 3. Obviously, the 1,000 yards. I believe 10 touchdowns is one, and the other might be a certain amount of receptions. I don't remember that for sure. But Mike Evans doesn't care. Baker Mayfield cares even way more than Mike Evans does about getting Mike Evans that 1,000 yards. And then let me say this off the record. We may have gone to dinner kind of in a ritzier area of Tampa on Friday. A little bit of a issue with me and my daughter, kind of a little bit of a blow up. She got a little mouthy. We walked into a place after dinner. My wife and her friend said, "Hey, we're going to have one drink. If you want to go ahead and head out, that's fine." I decided, yep, I'm going to go have a few words with my daughter, be a dad, but right, can't be friends first, got to be a dad first for all of those dads out there.
Girl dad life.
As I get home, my text messages are blowing up. Drop the daughter off at her mother's house. It's probably the place she belonged that evening. Get home, and they said, "Did you even realize that Baker was at the first table when we walked into the bar?" So you're not getting smiles out of me. That's another reason. I probably would have left Mr. Mayfield alone as he is prepping for the game. But yes, apparently this bar that had 9 total people in it, if you count the staff and our party, Baker and his +1. So my weekend didn't start off great. Yesterday pretty much put a big turd burger on top of it. All of that said, that this was a little therapeutic to get it off my chest. It's going to be Mike Evans for me if I have to pick one out of the 2, because I think Baker wants it for Mike more than Kenny Pickett is able to deliver for AJ.
Is there a chance, Matt, is there a chance that Baker, out of respect, didn't approach you?
It's very possible that Baker knows what he means to me, and he doesn't want to put any undue pressure on me in the show.
It's championship week. He
probably handed me one of these,
mm-hmm.
Or one of these. When I walked in, I was a little more focused on family at that point, so I probably didn't notice it. And Baker, since you're probably listening before for the game and warm-ups and whatnot, you probably have your beats on. My apologies. It wasn't directed at you. I was just having a dad moment and needed to focus on that. So, yeah, no doubt that there he was at the Anchor Tavern. Now he knows I'm legit because I'm calling out the actual name of the place. And
nice.
Probably later, right? I'll get a text. He'll say, "Hey, good game. Did I give you the points you needed?" And everything will be copacetic at that.
I love that. And that's just, I think I can speak for all of us. That's a note to all of our professional athlete followers. Feel free to come and say hi in public. We're just regular people. We want to spend a couple minutes with you and your family, sign out a jersey swap if that's what you want. Just come and say hello. It's not a big deal. Just be polite about it. Matt, we appreciate that. Dave,
how about we bring our own Sharpies. We have black and silver.
I keep mine in my sock. Terrell
So
owns
you don't have
that.
to. You don't have to worry about us being ill prepared for an autograph.
I'm ready to go as well.
My phone. I don't know if you guys are saying my phone actually has a camera in it, so take photos too.
Nice.
Damn.
I have a Nokia
ritzy bar, phone into camera. I mean, we're not worthy.
We get the flex. We get the flex.
Yeah, the restaurant was super expensive. I didn't love the bill that I paid. The bar was full dive, which leads me to believe even more that he was for sure
Pre-gaming.
For sure there. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And
Davey, how
Derek,
about you?
Derek just lost his bet.
Nice. Way to stay
I saw a cracked smile in there somewhere.
I did too.
We'll have to get the Mike Pereiro or one of the other refs to come in and give us
review the tape.
Yeah, and give us a call on that one.
Oh, you expect me to follow that? I mean, that's like Black Sabbath coming out after Van Halen in 1978, man. I don't know what I can do here. I will answer the question, however. I don't think the weather is any better in Philadelphia than it is in Tampa. And you know, you're asking me to go with a receiver that has Kenny Pickett throwing to him over one that has Baker Mayfield throwing to him. I'm going Evans all the way here.
Yeah, that weather of wind and rain pretty much summarizes every game today except for San Francisco.
That's okay. We can get something going here. Don't worry.
Yeah. So there's going to be weather implications throughout. No snow anywhere that I'm seeing, by the way, but there's going to be rain throughout. So getting back to here, I'm really kind of curious, and I know you're following JCW. So give us your other wide receivers, because if you're picking between AJ Brown and Mike Evans, who else are you playing? Yeah. And that being the case. You're chasing 117. I think you might be in a good spot. But anyway, if it comes down to AJ Brown or Mike Evans, I'm playing Mike Evans for all the reasons that have been said. I'm not worried about the weather. Tampa really needs to win this game, and they really should, especially after getting beat last week. So I think they're going to come out hot. Obviously, Baker's ready to go after his weekend, pregame exploits that Matt talked about. So, yeah, give me Mike Evans all day here.
Sorry to break up the band. I'm going to go AJ Brown on this one. I watched that game for the Eagles and the Commanders, and Kenny Pickett didn't look terrible. AJ Brown did get 15 targets in that game, scored a tutty. Dallas defense is really not that good right now. They're allowing the second most points to receivers over the last month as well. Division game, so Philly has a lot of pride in this one. They hate the Cowboys. Jefferson and McLaurin, there you go. I'm going to go AJ Brown. I just think he's going to get all the targets from Kenny Pickett.
Man, it's great to see Terry McLaurin locked into fantasy lineups finally. We've all been waiting for this for 5 years, and he's been absolutely incredible for Washington. Man, I'm going back and forth while you guys plead your case. I actually agree with both of you, and I think Mike Evans and AJ Brown are great starts this week. Jeff's right. Kenny Pickett was not horrible last week, 15 targets. Devontae Smith also had 7, and he had a great game against Dallas, 109 yards against Dallas earlier in the season. But I clicked over to Mike Evans, and I was like, how do you do against Carolina? Carolina doesn't give up a lot of passing because you can run all over them. He had 12 targets in that game, 118 and a touchdown as well. Wide receiver 3 in that same week. I'm going to take Baker and the Bucks as well. That 1,000 yards means a lot. I mean, we're talking history, folks. Jerry Rice didn't do this. Nobody has done what Mike Evans is potentially going to do and has done so far over 10 years. So 4 styles. We're gonna start a campaign heading into 2025. I'm calling it Styles Smiles. It starts today. Mike Evans going nuts. I think AJ Brown has a great game as well, but I don't want Kenny Pickett to turn into Kenny Pickett, and I just believe in Baker Mayfield more so. So give me Mike Evans as well. We'll go 4-1 Mike Evans over AJ Brown, but I think both are great starts, and with Jettas and McLaurin setting your lineup as well. Just for giggles and wiggles, gentlemen, really quick, would you sit Terry McLaurin for either one of these guys?
Not me.
No.
Okay. So we're sticking with Jefferson, McLaurin, and in this case, Evans for everybody except for Jeff. Okay, I just want to see if that changed anything for anybody there. JC Dub, thanks so much. We know you're a commenter on all of our articles over the season as well, so really appreciate you. You've been with us for a couple years now, so really appreciate your contributions. 13-1, most points for by nearly 300. Styles, we call that a flex. That's a Sunday flex. Great job. And by the way,
Yeah.
folks, it is championship week. Please feel free to unhumbly brag all you want this morning on how solid your squads are. Let's see how the Razzball team has done this year as a collective. Yes, Dave.
We want bold brags today. It's
Yes.
week 17.
We do. Make it happen and be proud of the lineups you guys have put together. So 13-1 is a hell of a matchup. Jamie, we go with the old cap tip. Boop. Good morning, buddy. Happy holidays and best of luck to you and your crew as well, man. I know you're got a lot going on for you. Daniel, good morning. Hello, guys. Who should I start? Only two here. This is Shakir Jennings, Jawan Jennings, and Jameson Williams. Daniel, in the future, buddy, please make sure that you give us your format, half PPR, full PPR, things like that. Really helps us narrow it down. If we don't hear from you guys, we just assume that it's half PPR. We split the difference. So, gentlemen, without knowing for sure, unless Daniel chimes back in, start two here in half PPR. We're going Shakir Jennings and JMO. Maddie, we'll start with you. Oh, and Jacoby Myers is in the mix as well. So start 2 of the 4. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm going to be very transparent today. Most of my advice is going to be manifesting a win in my own home league. So for me, it's going to be Shakir.
Make it happen, brother. Make it happen.
Yep, it's going to be Shakir and Jameson Williams for me.
Okay, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Jennings and Shakir here.
I was expecting a little commentary there, Dave.
Well, let me put it this way.
Buy time, Dave. Buy time.
Yeah,
I like Jennings' matchup against the Lions. I think it's a decent matchup. And as far as the other three, I think Jameson Williams has probably got the toughest matchup out of the 4. And I just don't trust the Raiders offense. So it just comes down to the Bills. It comes down to 2 of the better offenses for me. And I know Jameson's in a great offense and he can smash as well. But I think the 49ers are a little bit tougher of a secondary.
yeah, that's actually kind of where I'm going as well. I love JMO, but I mean that's so if you're in a position like some of us are, and you really need, the explosion today. I mean, he's a player that could do that. Kind of a boomer bust. Although he's been a lot more consistent than in years past. But if you need a ceiling play, then JMO might be the play. But I do like Jennings here, and I'm actually. And I know he didn't do much last week. He hasn't done much in the last couple of weeks, but I do like the matchup for Myers this week. And I mean, he's again kind of a boomer bust play, but I like that there. Obviously New Orleans has nothing to play for whatsoever, and the Raiders, they're the Raiders, and they tend to. Seems like every year they tend to win a couple games, in a fashion that kind of says, oh, well, maybe the Raiders could actually put something together, and this might be one of those weeks. So, last
Eric, please say Jennings and Myers, which would be the anti-manifest to Shakir and Jameson.
Well, that's exactly where I'm going. So yes.
Now we're smiling. Look.
Yeah, there you go. We finally got
Smiles, baby.
We finally got Matt's smiles.
There we go. Okay, a little more than 9 minutes.
It's a little bit frightening, but he is smiling.
Yeah, let's take a picture of that. Freeze that frame. But
Nice.
but no,
that's a Chucky smile.
Styles aside, I do like Jennings and Myers in this one. But again, Myers and JMO. I'm really off of Shakir, honestly. I guess I might as well say that. I'm really off of him. Last time out, he had like two receptions versus the Jets, and there's a lot of weather there as well. So I'm really off of Shakir, and I'm kind of leaning more Myers than JMO for the reasons I said.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jennings is for sure the best. He has the most advantageous matchup against the Lions this week. And then I'm going back and forth on Shakir and JMO. I'm going against JMO in my league, so I don't want to choose him. But like Derek said, he has the highest ceiling. But It's worth noting that the Jets give up the second most points to slot receivers, which is Shakir. So it's possible Shakir does well. I did mention him as a good start for the rest of the playoffs early in my articles. He has 2 touchdowns over the past 3 weeks, so I'm going to keep rolling with Shakir and go with Jennings.
Man, I love all that, Jeff. I had most of that information in my bag as well. 19 yards, so 2 receptions, but 19 yards against the Jets last time. I just don't know what to do with the Niners, guys. I know you kind of lean on me for boots on the ground, Francisco here, but it's inexplicable what's going on here. Debo might be back to Debo, which is cool. Kittle's the only one that's consistent right now. We don't know which running backs we're going to have out there for the Niners. And the Lions are completely destroyed by injuries, but they're still one of the best rosters in the NFL. That's basically a playoff game for both those guys based on the NFC Championship for last year, even though the Niners are eliminated. I think it's going to be a heavy atmosphere and competitive enough to feed Jennings again. So I'm going to go with Jennings there, and I am going to go J-Mo. I'll take both players in that game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of weather. That is tomorrow night, so I kind of hate to do that to just kind of extend that stress, but I will. I'll go double Monday Nighters with Jennings and J-Mo. Dave, are you keeping score for us?
I wasn't, but I'll start.
That's okay. Can we just go quickly on this one? Because these longer bunch of name chunky ones I think are important for that. If you wouldn't mind, sir, are you ready?
I will.
All right, one more time. Let's go around the horn here quickly. Maddie, what you got?
The right answer is Jennings. I'm playing Shakir and J-Mo. So the real answer is Jennings and J-Mo.
Fair enough.
Jennings and Jamison Williams, and I had Jennings and Shakir.
Okay, Derek?
I had Jennings and Myers.
Jennings and Shakir.
And Jennings and J-Mo.
So it's Jennings in a landslide, followed by Jamison Williams by a hair.
Got it. Landslide
For Jennings, that's a 5er, and we've got 3 for J-Mo versus a couple for Shakir, and I think Derek was the only one on board Myers.
Awesome. Can we get the next question up here before we take just a brief commercial break? Folks, without any further ado, we would like to welcome in the leader of the pack. And Bob, I think you're getting 2 intros here, which is good.
Nice.
We're giving you 2 intros. Maybe 3? No, we'll go back to
What's up, fellas? How's my beautiful assholes doing today? Huh?
Hey, we're good.
You guys
man.
all right?
We're good.
right.
We're good. We're having a good time, man.
A little bit. You guys weren't even tracking it. I show up late for the first time all year. I come to and I hear, oh, hey, by the way, at 8:30, can we start tracking answers? What are we doing here? Huh? You know,
We didn't need to. We didn't
You
need to because we had
slackers.
landslides the whole time.
Well,
so
it was mostly
nice.
It was mostly just 2 players. Then all of a sudden, somebody threw us a wicked curve, and
All right.
I swung and missed.
yeah.
All right, boys. And then 30 seconds in, already a baseball reference. God, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love every second of it.
I thought we got it settled a long time ago that I suck. So
No, we didn't.
Bob, we're on it, buddy. Happy holidays. Welcome in very quickly, just to make things fair before we get into Dylan's question here, Bob. We went around the horn. You don't have to go too in depth with the rosters per se, but have you seen more Grinch or more Santa so far this week in championship week for your rosters?
Wow. I had T. Higgins, so that was nice. So I'm gonna go. It was nice. It was good stuff. By the way, it was 1 week too late because I already been eliminated in the semis. Now I'm playing for 3rd place, but watching T. Higgins go off and Jamar Chase just have a normal game. Last week I had the Chase Higgins matchup, and then of course that last play where all of a sudden the Browns decided not to play. They're like, oh, whistle, and then T. Higgins runs down the sideline for a 50-yard touchdown. I almost threw my remote through my TV because I'm like, really? They held down Chase all game, And then all of a sudden, Chase decides to like, oh, blow and whistle. I'm just going to be wide open down the sideline. Thanks, Browns. Thank you so much for that. That was a beautiful moment. And also Devonta Smith, shout out to you for dropping that pass and allowing Jaden Daniels to get the ball back and go all the way down the field for a touchdown. So shout out. A lot of Grinches last week, more Santas this week.
Hey, man, yin and yang, right? You know what I'm saying? Like a little plus or minus. I love to hear that.
All right, cool.
Well, welcome in, buddy. We got a full 6-pack now. So we're up to this. However you want to do it. Maybe Bob needs a little meditation, Zen rolling on. You can throw up the 3s for the Splash Brother. However you want to do the 6-pack, we have that ready for you. All right, Dylan, let's get into it, buddy. Championship week, baby. That is correct. Full PPR. Different leagues. One flex. Madison Abdullah. Made the championship. And we're concerned about Madison and Abdullah. Great rest of your roster. I'm telling you that right now. Pick one, Miami or Philadelphia DST. Pick another one, Tampa Bay or Buffalo DST. So I think these are maybe 3 different leagues, whatever. Just don't consider it the same team. Doesn't matter. Make it happen here. Madison Abdullah, Miami, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, Buffalo. Different leagues, full PPR. Styles, you're up.
It is the Raiders, but I'll take volume. I assume that's going to be Madison, even though they've been splitting. I'll take Madison to fall into the end zone. The first defensive question I'm going to punt because it's a question that I have in my championship league. So I'm going to wait for answers on that. And the third one, I think, based on the schedule about 5 or 6 weeks ago, you would have said Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's not a great defense. I think Buffalo is going to attempt to embarrass the Jets. And I think that's going to start with their defense. So give me Madison, abstain but present, and Buffalo.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough question for me with Madison or Abdullah. It comes down to game script for me. I think Abdullah's more of the – it's funny, Madison started as the proposed passing down back, but now he's kind of morphed into the guy that they will lean on for the run. I'm going to go with Madison as well, but I don't hate Abdullah here out of the 2, but I'm going to go Madison slightly over Abdullah. For Miami and Philly, I'm going to go Philly pretty heavily, although, Miami could easily mop the floor up with DTR. But I just like Philly today. They do have something to play for, and Dallas is pretty much depleted now with CeeDee Lamb going out for the year. I'm going to lean Tampa Bay just a little bit over Buffalo. I'm not crazy about either, but I'll take Tampa Bay against another depleted team. It's like one team lost CeeDee, a lot of teams lost Cuba Hubbard this week. So I'm going to go slightly
All right, it's going to be Madison for me in that first one. He's really what we're seeing is certainly there's a timeshare there, and either one of them could find the end zone, perhaps both of them against the Saints. But it's the workload is really more like 3-2 Madison. So slight tip to the volume and go with Madison. On that second one, I'm there with Matt. This is our team, and we've got to decide between these 2 defenses. There's merits on both, so I'm going to abstain on that one as well. And for the last one, it's going to be Buffalo for me. The Jets, we've been saying it for what seems like 2 months now. The Jets are just such a mess, and frankly, I could see this one quickly turning into the Aaron Rodgers retirement game. I mean, Buffalo could really just convince Aaron that it's time to hang him up. This is one of those games. So, I don't mind Tampa as well, but especially with Chuba out, like Dave said. But Carolina, they're actually not terrible like they were in the beginning, and having Chuba out and Jonathan as well. I mean it remains to be seen what they can do with a running game, and he's not a quarterback yet that's one-dimensional. He really needs that balance. So I could see Tampa having a pretty good game, but that Buffalo matchup is just too juicy for me against the Jets. So I would lean Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Madison. He'll probably score a touchdown today. Pretty positive about that one. The Saints have given up I think it's the third most rushing touchdowns to running backs over the past month. So I expect some love from Madison again, as he got one last week. As for the defenses, I'm going to go with Miami on this one. I think in the Philly-Dallas game, that's a division game, and teams hate each other. That could be a surprise game. I know CD is out, but I think the Cowboys have a more competent offense than the Browns do. And then we're looking at Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He has 0 touchdowns to 5 interceptions this season. So I expect a pick or two for Miami in that one. And then the last defensive question, I was going to go with Buffalo, but Aaron Rodgers has yet to throw an interception in the past 3 weeks. So maybe he's playing better, actually. Maybe it is that retirement game and he goes off. And for the Panthers, it could be a shootout, but I think Tampa Bay is just going to be winning early, forcing Carolina's hand to pass more, and that'll lead to some turnovers. So I'm going to go with Tampa.
All right, fellas. Little championship week. Got to grease the wheels. I'm a little rusty here. Madison for me, obviously. Oh, yeah, really? Are you really? It took 15 minutes for you guys to get through this question. I don't want to hear it, all right? So I'm just going to take my sweet time. Alexander Madison, fantasy football title winner. I love every second of it. The Miami Dolphins and Philadelphia is probably the one that I feel toughest about because the Eagles have just dominated Cooper Rush. Dominated him. The last 2 starts against the Eagles have been atrocious. Eagles have a lot to play for. They're at home. So I'm going to go Philly. And then Tampa Bay, Buffalo. I'm just going to go Buffalo. I think Buffalo at home, I know is probably the way I lean just because Carolina has improved significantly. So I'm going to go Buffalo. And there's a lot of injuries in that Carolina-Tampa Bay game that worries me a little bit. So I'm going to go Buffalo at home.
I'll go Madison. I'm going to go Miami by a nose at Cleveland. I think the Miami Dolphins offense is not going to be great, especially with Tua banged up. But I think their defense is going to be just fine. So I'll take Miami defense, and I'm going to go Buffalo. I think Carolina is playing much better. They're not winning games, but they're playing much better. I think that's going to be competitive. I think Tampa Bay is fine scoring points on them, but I don't see a lot of turnovers happening from Bryce Young. He's playing a lot better. So I'll go Madison, Miami, and Buffalo.
Yes, Sky, is the Olive Garden gift card being sent by Bob through you to me for Cooper Rush over Jared Goff call last week? I'm curious when we're going to get to that and when I can take my family to dinner.
Jared Goff, it took a spell. The only reason in the world why Jared Goff went for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns on the road against the Bears is because we bet. If we didn't bet, he would have went for 200 yards, 1 touchdown. Unbelievable. And then, by the way, CeeDee Lamb gets tackled on the half-yard line for Cooper Rush's 2nd touchdown and 300 yards. But yeah, no, I just realized in that moment I'm done. I emotionally quit forever on that moment. Watching that happen was
horseshoes and hand grenades, my friend. Horseshoes and hand grenades. You lost the bet. Suck it
Insane.
up.
Matt,
that sounds like a fan letter to the Cowboys to me.
Yeah, my understanding, Matt, is that Bob has just pre-reserved for your family. So if you just go to any local Olive Garden in the greater Tampa area, Styles family for X, bring the partner. I mean, do what you got to do. Bring a friend, kind of a +1 situation. Yeah. Styles family for X, bam, handled. I don't remember if he did dessert thrown in or not. You guys have to kind of discuss that on your own, but I believe it's already taken care of.
He's going to throw in the unlimited salad and breadsticks.
Unlimited breadsticks on the house.
He's lucky to get an appetizer out of this one, okay?
Walk in, puff out your chest, say, this is handled, don't mind the film crew.
Yeah.
Jared Goff decided to have an amazing game on the road outdoors for the first time ever because of this. So thank you. Actually, Jared Goff should be paying right now. Hey, Jared, get on the horn, call Olive Garden in Tampa, and just say, hey, Matthew Styles gave me the spirit. He believed in me before I did, and that's why he deserves this.
Matt's a vibes guy. Send out the vibes, and it happened. That's what he does, man. I love that. Bringing holiday cheer. That's what Matt does. All right, let's get the lightning bets. We got a handful. Go ahead, Dave. How do we wrap up?
Let's go through the scorecard for Dylan and Matt and Derek. We had this for Madison.
Love it.
We solved nothing with Miami and Philadelphia for anybody in the house. It was 2-2. And Buffalo 4-2 over Tampa.
Got it. All righty. Lightning bets. Good morning. I know we got a couple from you, buddy. We'll get through them here. Good morning, gents. Thanks for everything. Thanks for you guys' help this season. It's much appreciated. Got to start sick question for my championship. Lightning bets. Thank you for tuning in every week with us, buddy. Best of luck. Let's make it happen. Half PPR. Who do I start at running back out of these options? Dowdle, Kendre Miller. Kamara is out. ETN, Tank Bigsby. Ugh. Blackishire. Oof. Madison. Oof. It's kind of a rough row there. Just need to start one. Am currently projected 3 more points than my opponent. Also, who would you guys start at a defense out of these options? Raiders at the Aints, Jags versus the Titans, Browns versus Miami. First things first, before I give it over to Styles, we got a lot to break down there, so we're going to take a second. Projections, everybody. Don't get super excited about those. Don't get down on yourself. They literally mean nothing. They're fun. They keep us interested as players and viewers of the site that you use. They're whatever. One single play sways them tremendously. So don't get too down on yourself if you're like a 30% or 30% whatever projection. You could still win. Don't get too excited if you're 80%. Until you hit that 90 bar, I wouldn't get too excited. So stick with it no matter what. We had some massive games over the last couple of days, but we still have a massive roster happening Sunday. Anything can happen. Make it happen. All right, Styles, we got a lot to break down here, buddy. We got a half PPR running back question, and then we got a DST question as well. Go for it.
I think I'm going with, for the first question, the half point PPR, I'm going with where I feel the volume is going to be, and that's going to be Kendre Miller. And I don't like any of it, but that's my pick.
Okay, you want to throw out the DST as well? We'll just knock them both out. Raiders at, you got it?
Okay. Let's get freaky and go with the Jags for the final show.
Ooh, was that a Jeff shout out? That was a.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to shout out Bob, so yeah.
Oh, go for it.
I wouldn't want it. No one asked for it. So good joke's on you, Matt. The shout out, even if you gave one, wouldn't have been received. So right back.
So hungry, so very hungry.
Maybe a chicken.
So nice.
Maybe a chicken parm, Matt. Maybe for trivia, a little chicken parm.
Yeah, I'm gonna order the chicken parm and I'm gonna throw it away. Joke's on you, Bob.
Good. I would prefer that. I'd rather a garbage can enjoy that food over you. How about that? All right. So.
All right, kids. Hey, kids. It's still the holiday season. Mom and Dad are sleeping before we open the prezzies. Let's keep it kid appropriate. All right, Dave, go for it. Running back defense.
Yeah, I've got this to say about Kendre Miller. I watched that game Monday night, and I just I lost count about how many times I said to the TV, "Who the fuck is Mims?" So to me, this question comes down to Dowdle and Madison, and I love Dowdle on the surface. I'm just worried about the matchup against Philly. Philly's defense. I've already endorsed Philly's defense, and without CeeDee Lamb, I'm just worried about the Dallas offense in that game. I'm gonna go with Madison for this question. Probably from a volume perspective. I know Abdullah gets some work, but I just don't trust Dowdle. I don't trust Dallas. So I don't trust Dowdle to get the yardage or even a touchdown.
That was the first official laugh, by the way. Who the fuck is Mims? Yeah.
Nice. Also, that's our one F-bomb, gentlemen. So, Dave, you're welcome. I don't think you've had an F-bomb all season, so that's all yours. You own that. Enjoy that. But it tastes nice coming out.
I'll behave like myself the rest of the show.
Oh, hey,
I
I
will
said the
give you-
same thing.
no.
You got to it before I did, but I did the exact same thing on Monday night.
Dave's the only person that gets a pass. I technically reserved Week 17 F-bomb back in August because I wanted to finish the season strong because I knew I was going to be pissed at the championship week. But Dave, since you weren't around at the time, I'll give you a pass. No worries. All right.
Dave has the team F-bomb. Good work. Cool. Jeff, who you got? Jags and
Yeah, let me
Derek,
go
good
because
Uh-oh.
I had an F-bomb waiting too, but now I can't use it either. But so the answer is Dowdle here in a normal week, but this is not a normal week, and you really, especially with Lamb out now and in Philly, you can't trust that matchup. So, and other than Blackshear, the rest of these guys are in some form of a timeshare, and we're really not really sure what Blackshear is going to give us. I mean, there's really not a lot of data there to look back on, although Tampa is a team that you could get some ground yardage with. So I'm kind of going to go off of really feel, and my feel is that the Titans give up the fourth most fantasy points, and they give up the highest percentage of touchdowns receiving to running backs. And so to me, that's leaning Tank Bigsby. So I know it could go either way with ETN and Tank, and what we're seeing a little bit more workload to Tank here than ETN. So again, just kind of putting all that data into the black box, it really comes out as Tank Bigsby to me out of these options. I don't really love any of them. But if there's some upside there, I see it with Tank. So go with Bigsby for me. And on the defensive side, I am going to go with the Raiders traveling to Nolans.
And real quick, I didn't answer the defense question. I'm going to. You're gonna hate me, but I'm gonna go with Cleveland. So I just without Tua playing, that quarterback position is scary. I don't trust Huntley. They already let go of Skylar Thompson. So yeah, just give me Cleveland in that, especially with the weather. That's another weather game.
They're all weather games today.
They're all weather games except the ones indoors.
It might rain in some of those too.
The running
I
back.
hope it rains in Bob's living room.
Jokes on. I actually don't watch the games in my living room, so that's fine, Matt. So more jokes on you, buddy. More jokes on you.
Go ahead,
Hope you have flood insurance, Bob.
in San Diego.
Yeah.
Oof.
Don't
You know, I
throw
just-
stones.
I
You live in a glass
just-
house.
sir-
You live in a glass house over there in Tampa, buddy.
Sorry
I heard
to-
about hurricanes.
I'm going to cut you off real quick, Bob. I just realized now why there's so much animosity towards Bob between Matt and Bob, because San Diego's the site of the Holiday Bowl. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Don't you fucking say it. No.
Hey, that's 2 F-bombs.
And what happened the other day in the Holiday Bowl? Just saying. Bob, were you at that game?
I don't even know what you talking about. College football?
Yes, college
If
football.
you're saying a holiday, what are you talking about? The MetLife, Melrose, Rose Bowl, a holiday Cheetos, Doritos Bowl? Oh, those are my favorite.
Yeah.
That's the
So,
best.
I believe it was the Syracuse Orange handily over the who?
Go Orange.
The Cougs. The Cougs. So yeah, so I sense there's I just realized that's why there's some animosity there today. So and that's unfortunate, Bob. You just happen to live there, but
Just haymakers from the rafters. I love that. Jeff, join us.
Yeah, good to be here. So this running back question is kind of tough, actually. I was, shout out to Fred Taylor. He's a Hall of Fame finalist. Finally, Freddie T.
Taylor,
Better get in.
Freddie.
Nice.
So with that being said, I had to go with the Jags running back here. I love Dowdle is in a tough matchup. Philly giving up the third fewest points to running backs over the last month, so I don't really love that. No CD there. It's not a really good matchup for him. Now looking at the Jags running backs, interestingly, Etienne is getting like 2/3 of the snaps to Tank Bigsby, but Bigsby and him are averaging nearly the same amount of points. Bigsby's also getting more carries and more rushing yards and more touchdowns. So just kind of weird if ETN's playing more on the field. He does have 15 targets though, but as to what Derek said, I think Bigsby in the rain will get another tutty there. So I do like him as the Titans are giving up the most points to running backs as well. So I'm going to go with Tank Bigsby for their Lightning. And then for the defense, I want to keep with my Jags, but I got to go the Raiders. New Orleans is just terrible. So, yeah.
Bigsby and the Aints, or Bigsby and the Raiders. All right, Bob?
Yeah, I think it's Bigsby. I think him and Alexander Madison are pretty close, but I'm just going to bet on the talent of Bigsby. Kenneth Murray, the main middle linebacker for the Titans, will be out today, so that should help the run game for the Jags. And then on the other side of this, for the defense, Miami, the Browns-Miami game in Cleveland with no good quarterback could be I think I kind of want to bet on the Browns D. I know Huntley, by the way, no Waddle, which I know it doesn't really matter that much. And Tyreek Hill is actually questionable too, and he might not play. So it seems like that game's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game. So I kind of want to take the upside of the Browns in that one.
Yeah, either way, I'll take the under on whatever the line ends up being in that game. I just think it's going to be sloppy with the weather and the quarterback play. We'll see there. I'm going to go Tank Bigsby as well. Jeff, I think, broke that down really well. I'm going to go Tank Bigsby, and I'm also going to go with the Raiders. The Raiders are horrendous on defense, 31st in general defensive statistic, but Spencer Rattler is much worse. And we saw the Matt's Green Bay Packers handle them very quickly. That game was over. Quote, who the F is Mims? That was because the starting running back, Kendre Miller, for the Saints couldn't do anything off the bat. So that game was over in a hurry. Spencer Rattler has 3 fumbles, 2 picks, and 14 sacks allowed. He's thrown for more than 180 yards one single time in 5 starts. Not buying it. I'll go Raiders even without Max Crosby. So I'll go with Tank Bigsby and the Raiders. Bob, quick comment, and then Dave, give us a recap.
I gotta tell you, the best part about the comment that Dave made is that not only is it what the fuck, and I said it, number 2. That's right. I lied. Oh, that's right, Matt. Damn it. You ruined everything. 3rd time's a charm, though. But this is my thought here. But the best part about that comment he made about last week, Mims is inactive today for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So just to give you a nice little, who's this guy? Well, they made him inactive today because he only played every snap in the 4th quarter last week.
Oh, yeah, dominated.
Make that make sense. Make sense.
Yeah, love to see it. CEH. Shout out to that great LSU Tiger team and Clyde Edwards-Helaire somehow getting a roster spot. Love to see that. All right, Dave, how'd we do?
Okay, so after a shaky start from me and Matt, Bigsby came well ahead of the others, and Las Vegas edged out Cleveland for that defensive spot.
Okay. All right. And one of the few indoor games, I believe. All right, Cosmo, this will be our last question of the first hour here. Bob, if you're ready to go on the injury report and everything, I'll turn it over to you after we get to Cosmo's question. If that's good, give me a thumbs up. You ready for that? My man. Okay, cool. Cosmo, we'll get to your question. And everybody else, we see you in the chat bar here. JCW, we got to yours, buddy. Thanks again for tuning in. Chris, Bill, Nitish, Epic Fail, Hometown, Fantasy Football Advice, Griff Jones. Matt, who is that?
Griff Jones.
Yeah, it's Griff Jones. That's exactly who that is. We have a handful of your questions coming in here. We will get to all of those in the second hour as well. We're going to get to Cosmo's question. We're all going to take a quick water break, and Bob's going to give you the overall Week 17 championship injury report, and we will be back shortly after that. Cosmo, good morning. And once again, I want to give a shout out to your dog every single week. Hope it's been a happy holidays for your dog and your family. Good morning, all. I'm the underdog in the championship matchup after a couple of wide receiver dud performances. Can we pour one out for Cooper Kupp first of all before I get pissed in the offseason? like I'm sorry. Still one of my favorite players, but WDF.
Try to tell you.
WTF. Need one for my flex. Half PPR. Tyreek Hill, Jerome Ford, Rachaad White, who was the second best running back in Tampa Bay. We got Tyreek Hill, Jerome Ford, Rachaad White, half PPR, in the flex, pick one. Styles, you're on the clock.
First of all, Cosmo, you're not the underdog. Not if you're on this show.
Tell him.
It's going to be the reason it's going to be Rachaad White is because I need Ducky Irving. So I also think that Jerome Ford is going to get massive volume today, but I'm kind of leaning towards starting Miami's D, so I don't think that that's going to happen. It should be Tyreek. It's not going to be Tyreek because there's going to be no quarterback, no Waddle. That's going to be Jonnu Smith and some guy from the beer line that's going to probably be playing quarterback. I think it's going to be Jerome Ford for me, but it will probably end up Rachaad White will ruin my day and have 4 rushing touchdowns.
Whoa. Positivity.
Yes. Not today.
No.
Yeah, I just can't start Hill in this. It's such everything about that game just screams bad game to me. I don't even really like Jerome Ford that much in the matchup against the Miami run defense. My only problem, it comes down to Ford or White for me, and it comes down to, do I want to go with the guy that I think is probably going to touch the ball more, or do I want to go with the guy who somehow almost always finds his way into the end zone, even though he doesn't get a ton of touches? He's still getting double-digit touches most games. I'm just going to take Rachaad White as well because I just love the matchup against Carolina.
Yeah, it's going to be Rachaad White for me as well, echoing everything we've already said about Tyreek Hill. But the Panthers give up the most fantasy points to running backs. That's been consistent all year. So there's plenty for both Tampa running backs today, and a little sprinkling a little more for Evans as well. So I think it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Tampa scoring over 40 points in this game alone.
Ooh.
So plenty of food there for all 3 of the playmakers, White being one of them. So I'm going to start Rachaad White.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with Rachaad White as well. He did have a bad week and he fumbled, unfortunately, towards the end of that game. But he still had 10 touches, looking at his box scores. So I still think White gets more touches than Ford. And I'm going to go with White.
It's Rachaad White. Yeah, the Carolina math is really good. We're going to go about the injuries. They're going to be down multiple linebackers. J.C. Horn on defense. It is a rough one for the Panthers defense right now. So the matchup leans really good. And then if you look at Ford last week, he had 11 carries for 92 yards, but he had a 66-yard run in the first quarter. After that, he had 10 carries for like 26 yards. It wasn't pretty, and I think that's going to be a sloppy game. So I'm going to go with Rachaad White.
66-yard run on the first play of the game, Bob. Did not score on the 66-yard run. Just want to make that clear because that burned me as well. Worried about Tyreek also. Dave made that point home. You guys know I'm Bucky all day. I think he gets to eat as well. But I'll take Rachaad White too. I think probably you get a similar amount of touches between Ford and White, but you're going to get a lot more receptions probably on the White side, and that's going to bally up a little bit there. So let's throw one up before the break. Bob, don't be shy. There it is.
You did it.
There it is.
We decided on
no, not Illuminati. What are you doing? No, we're doing Bob. Look. You give a shit about baseball, which I can respect, and that's fine. That's fine. I do know that you've been known to enjoy a hoops game. So just think of it this way. You're putting up the 3, right. Bob. Put up the 3. One hand for the 3. You made the basket. Put up the second 3. That's what it is. So that's for you. Boom. You're one of the Splash Brothers, my man. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
All right, gentlemen. Hey, let's take a break. Cosmo, thank you very much. Chris Moraga, we are coming back with your question, and Bill Dino coming up next, among many others, when we come back from the break. The 5 of us are going to take a quick break. We're going to let the boss handle business for the next 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to get a water break, and Bob will take you through all of the injury reports. And if you got anything else to share, Bob, feel free to take your time, man, since you came on a couple minutes late, and we'll be back in a few. The floor is yours.
All right. Yeah, we're going to break down some of the key injuries that's going to impact your fantasy lineups in week 17. This isn't just wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks. This is going to be offensive line and defensive injuries. Honestly, even if you're not in the fantasy finals like myself, I've been eliminated in every one of my leagues, which is super fun, especially this time of year. But this is really good for player props and also for DFS lineups too. So it's a lot of fun here. This is a really good breakdown here. Before I break down the injuries, I do want to give everybody a shout out. We did end up donating officially to Good Sports. We did it, by the way, $100 was the donation, $3 for the service fee. So, you know what? That's what we do around here at Razzball. We pay for the service fees because we're high class. But we want to shout out everybody for providing us a donation this year. We were able to donate the $100, which is great news for us. So we do really appreciate it. And that being said, if you do feel like still donating, this week's donations will go to the team. The boys deserve a little Christmas present. If you want to shout them out, thank them. You always get to jump the line too if you do give us a super chat. So we do appreciate it. Any donation would be appreciated for the guys for the show. But we do want to thank you for all your donations this season. $100 was donated to Good Sports. That's a charity organization that helps provide sporting equipment to underprivileged communities. So let's get into the week. Oh, we got this weird banner down here. Come on. What is going on? This guy's promoting things here. There we go. All right, let's get into the week 17 injury updates. All right, so first off, let's start with the Cowboys at the Eagles. CeeDee Lamb, of course, we know is going to be the biggest name that is out in this game. That is huge news as Cooper Rush has struggled against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the only guy that really is startable on that offense, if you really need to, is Jake Ferguson, the tight end. But overall, it's going to be tough sledding for that Cowboys offense without CeeDee Lamb. On the other side of the football, the Cowboys are going to be down 2 of their top 4 cornerbacks this week. Both guys, actually Trayvon Diggs and the guy who replaced him is also out today. That should definitely help Kenny Pickett, even though he's starting at quarterback today for Jalen Hurts. That should definitely help the outside receivers, especially A.J. Brown, as Trayvon Diggs will be out, including his backup as well. Deron Bland has played well as the other outside cornerback. Really, to be honest with you, A.J. Brown should be solid today, even with Kenny Pickett, because there's no Dallas Goedert. Just something that might help if you're really struggling at running back and you need to start Rico Dowdle. The one help is Kobe Dean, star linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, is out today, but they do get defensive end Bryce Huff back. So we'll see. Obviously, I think that's overall, I would try to avoid the Cowboys offense, but some of those injuries on the back end to the Cowboys defense should definitely help A.J. Brown, maybe help that reception prop for you folks. Jets at Buffalo Bills. The Jets are going to be down to their 3rd string left tackle as the Tyrone Smith's backup is also out today. That should be tough sledding for that, offensive line that struggled. Buffalo is at home today. Buffalo is a solid defense. I know Aaron Rodgers is playing a lot better, but it's in Buffalo, so that is notable as well. Some other key injuries too. DeMar Hamlin, the star safety who actually been playing very well this week, has been out today. That is a slight upgrade for Aaron Rodgers and company, especially in the deep passing game. Honestly, I think Devontae Adams is the guy you want, especially because the Bills are a slot funnel defense as well. Jumping over to the Panthers at Buccaneers. This is the crazy game here. Good news is Xavier Legette is officially in. Miles Sanders is officially out, so don't worry about those. That's notable too. Rasheed Blackshear and Mike Boone should be splitting work. To be honest with you, I have no idea. My bet would be Rasheed Blackshear. The Panthers running backs combined did not do much last time they faced Tampa Bay. This could be a really tough sledding for them. So I honestly would try to avoid Rasheed Blackshear if you can, but he's my pick over Mike Boone if you need to start somebody. On the flip side of the football, the Panthers are down so many linebackers. Trayvon Wallace and Josie Jewell, their 2 best linebackers, they're both out. Their top cornerback, J.C. Horn, is out. They're also going to be down their 3rd cornerback as well. Smith Wade is out, and also starting safety Jordan Fuller. So a lot of injuries to that Carolina defense. The Tampa Bay Bucks are coming off a bad loss against the Cowboys. I honestly think they're going to come out swinging this week. Start your Tampa Bay Buccaneers where you can. Obviously, I got a little sprinkle of Mike Evans player prop because on the flip side of the ball, no K-Dot and no Sterling Shepard. Trey Palmer should get the start, but Jalen McMillan is a solid play. He's on a hot streak himself. On the back end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to be down Christian Nazine. Also, they're going to be out Antoine Winfield, their safety. So that's two of their back end guys, but they get Jordan Whitehead back. Honestly, I think one of my favorite sleeper plays of the week is Bryce Young. I do think he's going to have to keep up with Baker Mayfield and company. Some of those injuries on the back end should help, and some of the injuries to the running back should force him to throw a little more. So I do like Bryce Young if you're looking for a streamer, deeper name. All right, Titans at Jaguars. A lot of moving parts here. No Tony Pollard today. Tajay Spears, start of the week. Got to get him in your lineups. Of course, without Tony Pollard against that really ragged Jags defense. Sorry, Jeff. There are also a couple of other key injuries, too, for that Titans run defense. They're going to be down Kenneth Murray, who's their best linebacker. One of their other linebackers, Otis Reese, and Amari Hooker, who's one of their safeties on the back end, is going to be out today, too. So, honestly, I think that there's a lot of key injuries to that Titans defense. That's why I really like, if you want to start Tank Bigsby, I think he's going to be a solid play at home against the Tennessee Titans. On the other side of the football, the only real new name, obviously no Trevor Lawrence, no Evan Ingram. Walter Little, the left tackle, is going to be out today, who's obviously replacing the man, the Cam Robinson, who they traded earlier in the season. So that is notable for that Jags offense. They're going to be down multiple left tackles. Darnell Savage, their safety, is going to be out today too. I know one of the favorite streamer tight ends of the week is Chig Okonkwo. Honestly, I think because of the Mason Rudolph starting, I actually don't mind that play either. He's the right answer. It wasn't Brenton Strange last week who let us all down, and he got benched in the second half after his first half fumble. Super fun in your semifinals. Not bitter at all. Jeff's getting docked for that. Colts at Giants. Anthony Richardson is out today. I know Joe Flacco kind of struggled earlier in the year, but he gets another shot at redemption as the Colts try to make their final push to the playoffs if they can get in. With no Richardson, honestly, Josh Downs does get a major boost. So does Michael Pittman. That's going to be important because the Giants defense is missing a lot of guys. Of course, we know about Dexter Lawrence, but they're also going to be down their top linebackers, Michael McFadden, and also Bobby Okereke. So they're going to be missing a lot of guys up front. Honestly, Jonathan Taylor coming off a monster game last week. I think he's going to be probably an advised DFS play. The Colts defense also probably a solid DFS play this week too, as the Giants are going to be down their starting center and guard in this matchup. Jumping down to Week 17, Part 2, injuries. Raiders at Saints. Obviously, multiple injuries to that Raiders. We know about the injuries. Of course, Alexander Mattison is the preferred play. The Saints are a much easier to run on. They're not as really good for pass-catching running backs, mostly because you could throw against them with your tight ends and your quarterback wide receivers. So, honestly, I do think Alexander Mattison is an okay play. Kind of similar production to last week. He did find the end zone, also had multiple targets last week as well. Some notable things for the Saints, and obviously this is a feather in the cap for anybody who picked the Raiders earlier today. They're going to be down two of their starting offensive linemen, Lucas Patrick and Eric McCoy. That's going to be tough sledding for Spencer Rattler, who's going to be down multiple key players, including Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling is back in. So I think the Raiders are not a terrible matchup. Terrible start streamer, especially if you can't get your hands on the Colts. I don't mind the Raiders as well. On the flip side, the other part of this is the Dolphins at the Browns. Tua Tagovailoa is officially out today. Teron Armstead and Jalen Waddle are looking to be out as well. I think Teron Armstead is actually out. Jalen Waddle is doubtful as well, looking to be out probably in this game. Tyreek Hill is also questionable. We'll have to see. He's not listed here, but could be out as well, as the Dolphins have been essentially eliminated from the playoffs. So not much for them to play for. But no Tua. That honestly makes that Browns defense kind of startable, especially with Tyler Huntley as the backup QB and a lot of depleted weapons in their defense. Obviously, just some things for the Dolphins defense. Anthony Walker and Kendall Fuller are out today too. Obviously, I'm not interested in starting anybody in this game, unfortunately. I know that Devin Achane is going to be in most lineups, but obviously a really tough matchup against that Cleveland defense. And with no Tua, I don't love it either. So it might be best to fade, obviously, with Tillman out, David Njoku out. There are some key injuries to that Browns defense, especially on the front. But at the same time, I think Devin Achane is the only guy you could probably flex in this game, try to avoid, and maybe even Jonnu Smith to an extent. But honestly, I think Tyler Huntley will play a little bit better than he did in the past. All right, Packers at Vikings. Some key injuries for the Packers defense. Quay Walker, little middle linebacker, Jair Alexander, Javon Bullard, and Evan Williams are out. Those are their back-end guys. I mean, Sammy D, huh? Look at that. Did it in the rain last week. He could do it again against the Packers this week. I think that game should be a lot of fun. I would honestly try to start everybody in this game. I think this could be a high-scoring game. With those injuries on the back end, definitely should help guys like Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson as well. Some good news for that Vikings defense. Ivan Pace, their middle linebacker, is back this week, so that should definitely help. But at the same time, I'm trying to fire up as many Packers and Vikings as I can in this matchup. All right, Falcons at Commanders. The only real notable thing here, and if you're looking for a deep name, Olamide Zaccheaus is someone to monitor. Obviously, Jamison Crowder came back and he played the slot once Dyami Brown went out. Of course, Noah Brown, Dyami Brown, both the other outside receivers. The Falcons have allowed the most fantasy points out wide, and it's a revenge game. Olamide Zaccheaus. Let's get into it, baby. I would love to see that. If you're looking for a fun DFS name, very low dollar amount, Olamide Zaccheaus is a fun one, as the Commanders are going to be playing the Falcons in that game. Also notable for the Commanders defense, Jonathan Allen is back in. That should definitely help. He's one of the better Pro Bowl level defensive tackles in football. That should definitely help against Bijan Robinson and company. But Marshawn Lattimore comes in, plays 2 games, plays well, but now he's back out again, unfortunately. That should definitely help Drake London and Darnell Mooney, as they're on the road, going to be chasing points most likely against those Commanders. Finally, on Monday Night Football, a lot of moving parts. Obviously, the biggest name here is David Montgomery being out. But honestly, Charlton Davis is also out. Malcolm Rodriguez. I think, listen, the 49ers at home, I know they've been tough all year, but I think this game's going to be fun. I think the Lions are going to be able to, hey, listen, apparently Jared Goff outdoors on the road is good now. So obviously there's going to be no problems at all starting Jared Goff, even though he's going to be down 4 offensive linemen in this game. So, sorry, that's not Jared Goff. My apologies. What's his name? Freaking Brock Purdy is going to be down 2 left tackles, 2 offensive guards. Good news is they get Isaiah Guerrero back, so I think that should be solid, especially with all the injuries to the Lions front. Guerrendo's a solid start in the flex, and Nick Bosa returns as well for that 49ers defense. Overall, a lot of injuries up front for the 49ers. No David Montgomery, obviously, should make Jahmyr Gibbs a great start, but overall, honestly, I think the 49ers are going to put up a fight against those Detroit Lions at home this week. So maybe you want to start guys like Juwan Jennings and Deebo Samuel. All right, just before I bring the guys back in, I want to make a quick personal announcement. I'm officially announcing my retirement from Razzball. This will be my last show, and I do appreciate all the fans, everybody who's been on the show this whole season, the last few years. But more importantly, I really appreciate the guys that make the show special. Obviously, Sky, Matt, Derek, Dave, Jeff, you guys have been awesome. Good news is they'll be still on the show. And honestly, it'll probably be better without me. So you're going to have a great show. Those guys will be back next year, most likely. They'll be doing shows all off season long. But I want to shout out the fans. Appreciate you guys for being on these last few years. It's been a lot of fun. And let's have a good last 40 minutes. Let's really hammer it home and get some fantasy football titles. I'm going to bring the guys back in here. And let's get started.
Love it, Bob. Well done, buddy. And that injury report is so crucial every single week. And as you guys can tell, you watchers, it's not just fantasy players, the DST, the offensive linemen, things like that, like really pay into everything else. So, Bob, that's going to be irreplaceable next year with you stepping away, man. So we've all talked behind the scenes. We love you, buddy, and we appreciate you spearheading and quarterback and head coach in this squad. And it's fun to give each other shit, but on honor for realsies, dude. You're a real pro, and nobody dives into the statistical weeds the way that you do, man. So you're going to be well missed, and of course, welcome back on the program anytime you would like. So thank you for that every single time. And you are absolutely right. We're down to 38 minutes now before kickoff. Let's make it happen to get those hashtag Razzball titles. And as I said at the top of the show, everybody, we will check back with you next week as we talk as a team and discuss how we're going to get into the offseason with some DFS content and some dynasty content heading into 2025. But the 5 of us plus Ben will be with you heading into 2025. All right, Chris Moraga, you are up, my man, and the rest of you are in tow. Let's make it happen on this final start sit. 37 minutes. Let's make it happen, gentlemen. Chris Moraga, PPR flex, pick 1. Tracy Abdullah, Blackshear, Dobbs, or Hawkinson. Thank you, guys. You're very welcome, Chris. Matt, up to you, buddy. We got a handful here and a PPR flex. Who you got?
Yes, sir. You saw me on my phone. That's a habit for when Bob talks. I just kind of tune out and go onto my phone. So was he saying something about next week where he's going to be? I guess I missed it.
Yeah, he's doubling down, taking over the show on his own moving forward.
Okay, so we'll just kind of hang out. I guess we'll move on to baseball. So consider that strength
works
1,
for
2,
me.
and 3 for Bob.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Okay. In this one, give me volume and volume alone, and that's going to be Tyrone Tracy Jr.
Yeah, of the 5, I don't know what Abdullah and Blackshear are going to do in their offenses. Even if Blackshear's the 1A in Carolina, Tampa Bay's run defense has been pretty solid. Dobbs could have a good game, but you never know what's going to go on with the Green Bay passing game. They've got so many good guys that it just gets funneled to one or the other, or a couple of them. And Hawkinson, except for 1 or 2 games, just hasn't really shown he's completely back yet. So yeah, by process of elimination, it's Tracy for me, just for the reasons that Matt said.
Yeah. So quick note. I don't know if it's been brought up yet, but Corbin Burns signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Ridiculous.
Did we hear about that?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's
I did not see that coming.
Never
I
saw
didn't
that
see
one
it
coming.
No,
Never
I
s-
didn't.
No,
When
I
you're not
didn't.
actually looking, though, it's hard to see stuff
Hey,
coming,
Bob.
you know?
Bob, Corbin Burns, the Orioles legend. So the Orioles
All
are
right.
at least the team you would care about.
If you're
But anyway,
if you're gonna say this kind of stuff, what's the football translation? What would be the football equivalent of this?
Ooh.
Saquon went to the Eagles.
No, it's got to be CEH signing for this with the Saints, or who did he sign with? Drop by the Chiefs, sign with the Saints.
Oh,
I was thinking CeeDee Lamb signing with the Calgary Stampeders.
There you go.
Jesus.
But Derek, don't forget what color hair Corbin Burns has.
That's Hey,
That's right. That's why I brought it up.
Team Ginge.
All right, cool.
So this one's a tough one for me because I think, and I said it on a similar question earlier, in a normal week, the answer would be pretty clear. It'd be Tracy, but this isn't a normal week, and really not really sure what the Giants are going to show up with or to provide. So I'm swinging for the fences here. This is a PPR. I love the matchup. I think, Bob, you said it in your rundown. If you've got Packers or Vikings, you want to play them in this matchup. And so for me, it's going to be Hawkinson. I agree. He hasn't really shown except for a couple games, but he's getting consistent targets. He's getting 5 to 7 targets per game. And it's just going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those weeks where he's going to just explode. And to me, against the Packers, this just feels like that week to me. So I'm going to lean Hawkinson and take those 5 PPR points and whatever he provides, the yardage and end zone. So give me Hawkinson.
Is there any chance that Hawkinson can do what Trey McBride did if used the right way?
There absolutely is a chance. Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, Green Bay's defense is softest over the middle, and Quay Walker will miss the game, as Bob reported. So, yes, I like this for Derek. Manifest as you will, Derek. Manifest away.
That's a good question as well. You would think Tracy, as Derek alluded to, I do think Tracy is touchdown dependent over the past month as his volume has kind of decreased. The Colts actually have been pretty good against running backs. They're in the middle of the pack, though, but they've only allowed 91 yards to running backs receiving. So with that, I don't think Tracy's going to get a lot of receiving work. Anthony Richardson's out as well in this game, so this could actually be a low-scoring affair. So I'm kind of benching all Colts-Giants players, unfortunately. And then kind of going to that Vikings-Green Bay matchup, it looks like Christian Watson is out for that one. So I'm going to roll with Dobbs. I'm rolling with him in my personal league. I think he gets a lot more targets this game, and the Vikings are the worst defensive receivers. So I think a big game's in store for Dobbs.
Yeah, I got to roll. It's between Hawkinson and Dobbs for me. I'm going to go Dobbs. This is it. Like, he's the matchups one of the top 3 matchups out wide. This is a high-scoring game. I mean, the last time Jordan Love faced them, they went bananas. I think think it was a 31-29 game in that one, and I'm pretty sure Dobbs had a really nice game. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me just pull it up because I have the ability to do that. Yeah, he had 389 and 4 touchdowns in that game. I know he threw 3 interceptions, which it is what it is. Dobbs didn't really have a good game, but at the same time, I think comes around. I mean, Wicks had 2 touchdowns. I think some of that goes to Dobbs this week, so I'm going to go Dobbs here.
I'm going to go Dobbs as well. Everything Derek said, but for Dobbs instead of Hawkinson. I like that matchup as well, and Jordan Love looked really nice. I think it's going to be a tough day for Jacobs, to be honest. I could see a championship flop for Jacobs. Just throwing that out there. I'm going to go Dobbs.
Wow.
How we do, Dave?
So it's Dobbs by a hair.
Dobbs by a hair. Got it. All right. I have not had alcohol in over a decade. That's a personal choice for me. I'm really happy about it. I do not shun anyone that drinks alcohol. It's just not for me anymore. However, if I remember correctly, Matt, 15% is almost 10% more than maybe you need on a given beer. Over under 2.5 15% beers for Baker Mayfield Friday night.
I would say 0. I'm there. I'm guessing he was there just with his lady. Maybe they had a wine or something. But he was drinking 3%ers max if he was having anything. I don't know that I've ever had a 15% beer in my life.
Oh, probably disgusting.
I bet you they're just awful. I don't drink any of those.
It's like eating bread.
Well, you didn't have 2. You probably can't have 2 of those. So
no. I don't do the pumpkin beer around Halloween. I don't do any of the IPAs or craft beer stuff. Coors Light guy, not a sponsor. And I would think 15%er would end my evening.
Yeah. Matt, that's surprising. You seem like a pumpkin spice guy. I'm a little surprised by that, to be honest with you. But I believe you. I believe you. All right. Well, JCW,
we need a ruling on this too. Before, if he's still with us,
sure.
I see my 15% beer. So this sounds like a home brew to me. So we need to get clarification on that.
That might change.
Yeah.
That might change.
Yeah, I'm curious what he's making over there.
If you are home brewing, I am definitely interested in that.
Yeah, when you get up that high ABV, I think I'm pivoting to liquor.
Just
I'd like to try it.
Less volume. Nice. Jeff is in. Send a care package with a 15%. We like to see that. JCW. Best of luck. Hey, drink responsibly. Bill Dino, good morning. Wouldn't be a Sunday if I didn't chime in. You damn right, Bill. Thanks for tuning in with us, buddy. Thanks for the best pregame show around. Hey, man. We appreciate you. Thanks again for the best pregame show around. Vive la lad. Love that. Man, Lad McConkey looking nice. I made a pseudo joke in comparison, which is obvious, about Julian Edelman. But then after seeing the last couple of weeks, and he's right. I mean, it's not just over the middle slants. Like, the kid's legit. Keep an eye out for last place. Hey, man, if you're not first, you're last, and maybe you just lock that down. We'll see you next season, Bill. Thanks again. Appreciate you. All right, Nitish. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And another hoop fan there, Bob. That looks like a swish to me. Bam. Love to see that. Full PPR. Debo Samuel, who's decided to come back after everyone dropped him in all of his leagues. Like to see that.
Yep.
Against the Lions on Monday Night Football. Jalen McMillan, one of our league saviors this year in Tampa Bay when Chris Godwin went down versus the Carolina Panthers. Matt, you're up.
McMillan. Baker Mayfield McMillan.
For me, it comes down to how I feel about if the 49ers are really going to mail it in or if they're going to show up. I look at the books. I was a little confused by the light line. They seem to think that the 49ers are going to show up to this game. I like McMillan a bunch. Carolina's pass defense has been sneaky good. I don't know how much of that has to do with their run defense being terrible. But as much as I like McMillan, I'm going to take the shot on Debo here.
No, for me, it's going to be McMillan. We've talked about that matchup. I think we all agree Tampa's going to really come out swinging, and McMillan's going to get a little piece of that. So give me McMillan.
Yeah, I'm going to keep rolling with McMillan. His usage has increased the past 3 weeks, and he has 4 touchdowns over his last 3 games.
McMillan
as well.
Okay. Well, I pooped the party, so you can do it. You can do it.
We'll do this, right?
You can do a grill, but you can't do the threes.
Is that a 5 plus a poop?
There you go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at you just throwing up signs. I like to see
Nice.
that. Bold prediction: the Niners lose by less than a field goal on Monday Night Football. They lose by less than a field goal.
It's a 3.5 point spread, and it hasn't really budged.
I'll take the Niners there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to play inspired. They're out of the playoff, whatever. I think they're going to play inspired. We'll see, but the Lions get the dub. All right, we have let's see, 26 minutes until kickoff, gentlemen. All right, we got a question coming in from X. We appreciate that. Hometown fantasy football advice. Love to see that. Kittle or Spears in flex PPR? Kittle or Spears? The rare tight end running back comparison here. Flex PPR.
This is crazy. This is a great question. I'm going to lean Spears. But it could easily be Kittle in that game. If it's Jawan Jennings, then it's Spears. If it's not Jawan Jennings, then it's Kittle. But I'm going to go with Spears as my final answer. Lock it in.
Yeah, I love both of these guys in this question. With Pollard out, I think Spears is going to have a pretty solid game against Jacksonville. I'm also going to go with Spears.
Yeah, it's going to be Spears for me as well with Pollard out. Last 2 games, he's over 20 fantasy points for us. So I expect much of the same today against the Jags.
Yeah, I agree with take there. I'm going to go with Spears.
Yeah, Spears for me.
Spears also, we've been a little bit concerned about the volume each week, which is still legit, but less than 10 carries, basically, but he's scoring touchdowns. But now we get volume. So I'd love to see that. I'm going to go Spears there as well. Sew it up.
Nice.
Epic fail. Good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah, I was getting a little kind of like, where's Epic fail? Boom. There he is coming in hot. Love to see that. Love to see that. He was checking on that Corbin Burns. He was like, what? He just kind of probably lost track of time. And then, oh, shit, football Sunday. And then jumped over. So, hey, better late than ever, my man. Good to see Epic fail. Miami Buffalo defense. We talked about both of these earlier in separate questions, but let's narrow it down. Miami or Buffalo? Matt?
I'm going to stick with Buffalo, which was my answer earlier. They're going to embarrass the Jets, I think, today.
Yeah. I'm not going to bet on a shaky defense embarrassing an actual professional football team over what looks like a disaster of a football game. I'm going to take Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be Miami for me. I think we were kind of split between Miami and Philly, but to me, this one's more clear. I love that matchup against the Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to keep rolling with Miami in this one.
Miami for me.
Miami as well.
Okay.
2 in a row.
5-1.
Oh, 5-1. So I think that's
5-1. Yeah.
I think it's this.
I didn't poop this time, though. So
Nice.
No poop.
Good
No
for
poop
you.
in my pants.
No poop for Dave.
Miami's the right answer.
I'll change it. Matt changes it. Boom. We're throwing it up. There it is.
Okay.
Mardi Gras coming early. That's what I'm going with.
Since I was right about Jared Goff so many times when Bob was wrong, I have a couple where I can change my vote. So, yes.
Yeah. I'm telling
Outdoor golf.
Outdoor golf. Honestly, starting against San Francisco, he's going to go for 303.
Easy.
Nice. Love to see that.
In fact, he just threw one. So he's already got one.
Wow.
Better than Outdoor Rush. We'll see what happens. Griff Jones.
Who?
Matt, who's this?
Who?
Griff Jones.
Oh, Jeff knows who it is. Jeff, who's this?
Mike Jones.
There.
Mike.
I think this is what we just did.
Mike Jones burner. Kittle or Spears? Lions have a sneaky D. We did. We went Spears around the horn there. Spears or Tracy? A lot of Spears questions coming up in the back half here. So epic fail coming in with Spears or Tracy PPR.
Not a question, Spears.
Yeah, I liked Tracy earlier with a bunch of fluff around him, but I'm going Spears here with Pollard out.
Yeah, Spears for me. That's a spear.
Yeah.
I got you, Bobby.
That is a spear slide.
I hate to be cynical, but I thought it was Bob like digging the Giants' hole.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Just like that was tough.
That
Sorry.
hole's been dug for many.
I know, but I was like, I thought. Yeah.
I can't wait till Brock Purdy gets paid and the 49ers have to be like, oh no, we have to get rid of all these really good players.
Oh,
I
dude,
can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm a lot more excited about it than you are. Trust me.
Bob, if you know who Joe Pisarcik is, you can talk to me about the heartbreak of being a Giants fan.
I don't.
Oh, I know who Joe Pisarcik is.
Spears for me.
Nice.
Bob's still living the heydays of Tiki and Brandon Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep Bob in the glory days there.
Eli
Little
Manning
Hakeem
just
Nicks.
helmet catch.
Nice.
Helmet catch. Why not?
Yeah, love that.
Let's get into it.
Des Scott, Miami and Indy defense. We've gone Miami heavy this morning. Does Indianapolis have a chance? They are they're going up against those.
They have the Giants.
About Giants in New Jersey. Miami at home. Miami on the road versus the Browns. The Colts on the road versus the Giants.
All right, this is Bob's Swan Song Show. I think I will answer for the entire panel. We will all take Miami because we will not allow anybody on this panel to disparage the Giants against Indy today.
How about Giants with the upset today? What the hell?
It's all Miami, all six of us. Bob, you're welcome.
I'm here. I'm going to be here on record saying the Bengals make the playoffs. And the only way one of the only ways they do that.
Giants beat the Colts.
Giants beat the Colts. So I'm with you. I think Giants upset the Colts too.
I'll throw it up too.
Don't
make it happen.
No, don't even
Let's do it, Bob.
let's do it.
Don't start with this bull. I'm going Colts D. I'm not doing this.
Let's go,
If
Giants.
if we lose the first pick because
On
of
the
this
last
dumb
game.
shit,
Yeah, that would be full Giants.
I'll burn
So wait,
the whole entire.
I'm
There'll
trying
be
to
no
do
Razzball
something
NFL.
nice for you.
That's
I'm trying
not
to do
nice at
something
all.
nice for
Not
you
nice at
on your
all.
final show.
No,
And
It
you
could be
think
more
that there's
upset.
some ulterior motive?
100%. 100%. I'm not. No upset. Colts handle business. Defense dominates. Drew Lock 2 interceptions for touchdowns. Let's go. Go Colts.
I've got a new slogan for us. Razzball NFL, nothing if not paranoid.
Nice. Yes. Perfect. All right. So big Colts fans in the building today. Lightning Bets. Thanks for answering my long question, guys. Going with Tank and the Raiders defense. Hopefully all goes well. We wish the best for you, buddy. One more
Good
quick question.
job.
Garrett Wilson, McMillan, or Thielen? 3 quality wide receivers here. Garrett Wilson, McMillan, or Thielen, Matt?
We don't play wide receivers against the Bills unless they play for the Rams, of course. Thielen, good matchup, but I'm sticking with this guy.
Baker. McMillan.
Yep, McMillan for me too.
Wow, this one's tough. I would love to say Thielen here, but I'm not feeling it with Chuba out. I think there's regret. If you sit Wilson and you lose, then that's going to sting a lot harder than going the other way. I'm going to say Garrett Wilson and just roll with your best players.
Yeah,
It would be Garrett
fair
Wilson.
argument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm actually going to go Garrett Wilson. Rodgers is actually playing pretty good football right now. Last time Wilson played Buffalo, 8 catches, 107, and a touchdown. So I'm going to roll with Wilson.
Me too. I'm not against the. Sorry, Bob. I'll jump in the line there. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I was good anyway. You know, so I like it better. I didn't realize I thought there were 6 squares, but now when I'm looking at it, it looks like there's only 5. It goes right from Jeff up to you, so I think we're good. Go ahead.
I was checking the weather here, and I do like the narrative that potentially Rodgers either throws a bust and just rides the sunset, but him and Devontae have this connection, which is super hot right now. He's going for his 500th touchdown, which he definitely gets today. To Devontae Adams, bank that in guaranteed, just for historical purposes. I think the Bills take care of business, but I do think there's a lot of just garbage time chucking it for Aaron Rodgers. And I think Garrett Wilson's going to end up getting numbers. And I just don't know if Tampa's going to need it in the second half through the air. So I'm going to go Garrett Wilson here. I love all three of these options, but I'll go Garrett Wilson for total fantasy points.
Nice.
Bob, you want to chime in for us?
Yeah, I guess if it's okay with you.
No, please.
All right, cool. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson as well. Obviously, the Bills, for some reason, just hasn't been – they got smoked by Detroit. They got smoked by the Rams. It hasn't been as pretty on defense. And even Drake May got a cumulative stats last week. So, I know they're at home this week. And the weather is how's the weather in Buffalo?
Rain, 46% chance of rain, 51 degrees. Which is a warm day in Buffalo this time of year, but
It is warm. I'll also go Garrett Wilson.
Okay, so that's 4-2 for Garrett.
okay, moving on. Jaden Reed. Haven't talked about Haven't talked about Jaden Reed in months. Jeez. Jaden Reed and Tyjae Spears full flex. Matt?
Spears.
Yeah, I'm not trying to let Jaden Reed's betrayal sit on me, but it's Spears for me as well.
Yeah, let's not overthink this. Spears has the full-time role today. He's active in both running and passing games, so it's going to be Spears.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Spears, as I think Dobbs will get the receiving yards from Love this week.
Spears for me.
One of the only two indoor games with Green Bay there, but I just can't trust Jaden Reed. But it would be fantasy football for him to resurrect himself today and go nuts. But I'm going to go Tyjae Spears there as well. Cosmo's back, half PPR, playing for third place. Hey, man, don't quit until it's over. I love it. Playing for third place, play a little pride in there. Need a flex. We got Dobbs, Myers, and Rashad White. Flex, half PPR. Matt?
Rashad White.
Yeah, Dobbs could smash, but so could Reed, so could Wicks, so could Tucker Kraft. With Myers, I know the Raiders are in a decent game against the Saints, but I just don't trust the Raiders. So, yeah, it just kind of falls to Rashad White to me as well.
Yeah, ditto what Dave just said for me.
I'll go with Rashad White.
But you need Dobbs. Say it out loud.
Dobbs. Let's go Dobbs.
Dobbs in
Okay.
his heart, but Rashad
Thanks for the
White.
smile, Styles. Appreciate it.
There it is. Style Smiles 2025. I'm telling you. Bumper stickers, the whole shit. I'm ready for this.
Matt Smiles. That's his new name.
Love it. Love it. Smiles for Styles.
I am going to go Jacoby Myers.
Okay. Little variety.
Bob, it would have been nice to I kind of get used to these. You know what I'm saying? Well, I might as well go Dobbs then if we just threw everything out the window.
We're
By the way,
no
Dobbs
longer-
is the right answer, but Dobbs is probably the right answer. But I can't. I got that. It just seems like as soon as you trust one of the Packers guys, it goes to the other guy.
Yeah,
You know?
I think this is going to be a fun game. I think all the other games this week, the Saints and Raiders are indoors too, but that could be a dumpster fire. Every other game has weather issues. They're outside. It's weird. This Packers and Vikings game has everything on the line for both teams. I think it's going to be a shootout. I actually will go Dobbs. I'm a Bucky homer anyway. I think the Bucks go nuts today, but I'll go Dobbs. He's the red zone guy too, and I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in that game. So I will give an authentic Dobbs vote.
Okay.
Bryce.
It's White, but those last two arguments are pretty good.
Nice. This is probably Bryce Betcher, two-sport athlete at the University of Oregon who walked on to baseball and football from Eugene, local kid, going to the pros, drafted by the Astros, not a
Astros.
Kid's absolutely phenomenal. Playing on New Year's Day. Everyone enjoy the ball game. Bryce, good morning. Madison, Brian Robinson. Haven't talked about Brian Robinson in weeks either. Matt? That's PPR, by the way.
Madison. I think Washington throws all day.
I think I'm going to go with Brian Robinson here. I just like the Washington offense over the Raiders offense, and I think it'll be a bit of a shootout, like Matt said. But I'm still going to lean on Robinson here.
Yeah, I'm going to lean on Robinson as well in this one. I don't really have these too far different in my weekly rankings, but slightly leaning towards Robinson.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Robinson, just a better player, better offense. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a cheapie on the goal line.
Yeah, Brian Robinson for me.
Same. Brian Robinson as well.
Okay, Robinson 5-1.
One quick, I'm gonna jump here with admin access. Jump it. Bryce had a second question right after that. Garrett Wilson or Jordan Addison? I heard wins are high. Wilson or Addison, Matt?
Addison, shootout.
Wow. Yeah, I just I think it's going to be a good Devontae Adams game today with Rodgers. This might be one of the last go rounds for the two of them together. Give me Addison just over Wilson. I hate to do that, but I'm going to go with Addison indoors.
Yeah, same. Addison for me.
I'm going to go Garrett Wilson.
Going Addison.
I think they both have nice games, but I'm going to take Addison. I just think there's way too much unpredictability.
Wilson or Juwan?
All right, Sky has frozen. So I will jump in and start with the question that Dave just read. So we're going to go full PPR, Garrett Wilson or Juwan Jennings. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson for a multitude of reasons. One of them is I can't have Juwan Jennings catching one pass today or tomorrow. So Garrett Wilson for me.
Yeah, it's both of these guys are kind of a crapshoot at this point. But I think I like Garrett Wilson to have a little bit more volume than Jennings.
This one's tough. Tough for me. I think I have to go Jennings. I don't feel comfortable with it, but I just think the matchup there versus Detroit in an obvious passing situation just kind of leans a little bit towards Jennings. So I'll go Jennings.
I'm going to keep rolling with I'm going to keep rolling with Garrett Wilson in this one.
Juwan Jennings for me.
Yeah, so that was Addison if I got cut off. And sorry, heavy winds up here in the blimp above Candlestick Park, so I might have gotten a little airstream there. Sorry, I lost Wi-Fi. I'm going to go Wilson. Quick question. When you guys were kids, it was Jinx, blah, 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 right? Like Jinx, buy it. Okay, Bob, owe you Coke. Anybody else different? Jinx, something else?
Jinx, you owe me Olive Garden, you son of a bitch.
That's all I thought about. That's all I thought about when I was 8 years old was Olive Garden.
What's the total, Dave?
The total was 4-2 Garrett Wilson.
All right. Moving on. Gentlemen, we have 8 minutes to kick off, and I have about 15 questions for you as well. Mr. Magic, Hawkinson or Chigakonkwo? Winning championships a week or two early, huh? Jags weather, brutal.
Love the boots on the ground report here. Derek and I in our championship league have just switched to the upside of Hawkinson, and hopefully we manifest a Trey McBride game. So Hawkinson for me because I need it. The weather helps my decision.
Yeah, I know Chig has been Jonnu Smith 2.0 this last couple of weeks, but I'm not going to bet on that. Keep rolling. I'll take Hawkinson over Chig.
Yeah, my man Beans came into one of my articles today asking this very same question, and I told him I had the same one as well. My answer to him, and it's going to be my answer here as well, Chig has a really nice floor. So if you're looking for a floor play, a nice solid tight end return, I don't mind Chig at all, but in our case, as you well know, we're looking for a ceiling play, and to me, that's going to be Hawkinson.
Yeah, I'm gotta go with Hawk indoors.
I'm looking at the weather in Jacksonville. Like, it says thunderstorms.
Yep. Trust what Beans says. Beans is a constant reader of all of our articles. Beans knows.
Yeah, I've got 15 with gusts up to 25, 30 with thunderstorms likely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hawkinson. It was just more of a I don't know if it's brutal. Because I'm looking at the weather app, the thing right now, and it says 9. It does say scattered thunderstorms, but 70 degrees, winds at 9 miles per hour now. So I don't know. I gotta get a video up. I'm gonna go on X, see what's going on here.
Well, regardless, for me, it's just not the matchup. Yeah, it's Hawkinson. Matt made a mention there. The Packers are banged up the middle. They let it go for tight ends, so we're gonna go with Hawk. Either way, outnumbered, we'll go with Hawk. Let's move on here. Mr. Magic, we got to Bryce's question there. We all went Addison. Mr. Magic, Elliott or McManus? Bob, kicker information, please. One plays in a dome. Does that sway you?
No, not usually. Well, let's see what the kickers here.
McManus has been lights out for Green Bay. He's missed one kick.
And Elliott has been a little Justin Tucker-ish lately.
I have them tied in the metric, so I would lean McManus in the dome. Okay,
there we go. There's your kicker information. Jose up next. Jose, good morning, Villalobos. One of my good old buddies' last name is Villalobos. I'm sure you're related. So great to hear that. Browns defense, Eagles defense. We've talked a lot about the other ones here. So Eagles against the Cowboys, Browns against Miami, both at home.
We have 4 minutes left. I'm going to call this today. I'm going to shock the world. Philadelphia will have 5+ sacks. They will have a strip sack for a touchdown, and they will have a pick 6 today.
So that's not a good game for Cooper Rush then, is that correct?
No, Cooper Rush is Bob's guy, so of course, it's not going to be a good game.
Got it. Okay. Wow, big game for Philly. Dave?
Yep, Philly is Cooper Rush's kryptonite. I'm going to take Philly over Cleveland here.
Philly.
I'll go Philly.
I love how Jeff, we go unanimous every time, and Jeff's like, I don't know. Bob?
He's the only one of us that thinks.
Go Birds. Go Birds.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia just has their number. But I'm the Kenny Pickett thing, I'm not 100% sold on that making it better. But yeah. So I'll go Philly. Why not?
Go Birds. I'm in.
Here's another call. Kenny Pickett will target A.J. Brown minimum 13 times today.
Oh, yeah.
We
got 3 minutes, boys. Let's get through them here. We got 3 more questions. We got Large Aaron, Alex, and Calvo. If that's not your name, but you do want a question, get them in immediately before lineups lock. Here we go. Large Aaron. Half PPR, Myers or Thielen?
Thielen.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Thielen. I don't hate Myers in this between the two of them, but I do think that Carolina's going to have to throw a bunch.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to lean on their playmakers, and that's going to include Thielen. So give me that.
Thielen as well.
Thielen for me as well.
Samesies. Rico Dowdle or Spears?
Moving on, Spears.
Yeah, Spears for me.
Spears.
Shout out to Peter Warwick. Florida State Seminoles. Spears. Anybody? Yeah, we'll go 6 bar. All right, moving on. Calvo, last question on the box, boys. Downs, our favorite wide receiver for the first 2 months. Haven't heard from him since. Or Deebo Samuel, who used to be our favorite. Yikes. Downs or Deebo?
This is going to be my black armband moment. It's Bob's last question. I feel I'm not going to answer, Bob. The floor is yours. I defer to you. Whatever you say will happen and we'll win. I love you, buddy. Congrats on your retirement.
I'm good with that.
I don't like that at all. No. Absolutely not. Answer the damn question. You ain't slacking off now. Everybody answer. I'm not taking the pressure on this last one. I want the last go around. Just say
Josh
something
Downs.
nice about me after you say the name. That's all I want.
Josh Downs, and I hate you as much as I love you. That should go.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty. That feels pretty good, actually.
Josh Downs with Flacco for me.
Yeah, Flacco under center. Yeah, Josh Downs.
Downs as well.
I'm gonna go Downs.
Downs also couldn't be a better swan song for Bob. We got a 6-bar to end it. We got a Joe Flacco reference to end the last show of the year.
Woo!
And Bob's last show on a Flacco reference, boys. It couldn't have happened any more beautiful. Hey, Bob, I'm going to let you run it out with this one. I just want to say thanks to the panel. Thanks to all of everybody hanging out with us. Best of luck getting those Razzball titles. We will be in touch with you for 2025 in the offseason. Stick with us. But, Bob, we love you, buddy. We'll let you sign off for this one.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure, everybody. And this recaps the 2024 season. We do really appreciate it. Honestly, the Sunday Live Start Shit Show will be back. We'll be doing some stuff all off season long. I want to shout out all the guys, Sky, Matt, Dave, Derek, Jeff, everybody who writes for us. We do appreciate everybody. Ben Wasley, Rudy, Gray, everybody, all the pairs, B-Don, everybody does shows for us. I really do appreciate you guys. I love you. It's been super fun. Shout out all of you. But once again, I'm your host, Bobby LaMarco, signing off for the last time. We are out of here nice and sloppy. That's the way to do it. There we go.